Hello students, welcome back to First Step Coaching. Today we are going to start with our second chapter, which is Sandhi. So we know that Sanskrit is a very pure, organized and a very scientific language. It has a lot of rules and regulations to be followed. If you want to learn how to speak, write and read Sanskrit in its most correct form, the knowledge of Sanskrit grammar is very important. So this knowledge of Sanskrit grammar we are going to provide in this course in Sanskrit language. We have divided the course in different parts. We have given the name as chapters. So we have completed our first chapter, which was Varn Vichar, which was actually the basic unit of Sanskrit language. Sanskrit language is written in Devanagari script, and the basic unit of Devanagari script are the letters, the Varn of the language. So we have completed that chapter. Those who are new to this channel, they can go and check the previous videos. And today we are going to start with our second chapter. After completing the first chapter, only please come to the second chapter, as knowledge of Varn is very important for understanding of Sandhi. So let's start with Sandhi. What do you mean by Sandhi? Sandhi means combination. When you are actually combining two words, and by combining those words, there is under any rule basically, then there is some change happening in the original word, in the pronunciation and in writing. Then that change is called as Sandhi. Remember one thing, that in Sandhi, there is no change in the meaning of the word, only the pronunciation and the writing, the spelling is going to change, but the meaning is not going to change. Understood? So let's start with Sandhi. So, Sandhi, the literal meaning of Sandhi is combination. And this change which is occurring, this can occur in the uh, first word also, or it can occur in the second word also. Let's take an example. Suppose you have a word Vidya and you have a word Alya, and when you join it becomes Vidyalaya. Vidyalaya, right? So let's see where the change has occurred. So here the first word is Vidya. In this, the last letter is A, and here the first letter is A. So what happened when these two letters A and A combined? They became only A ki matra. This A and this A has become one A ki matra. Understood? So the change has happened in the second word. So let's see an example where the change is happening in the first word. So let's see. So we have a word like bho plus ati. So becomes actually bhavati. Now the first word was having oki matra in the end, and there was a in the starting of the second word. Now the change has come in this one. When oki matra met with a, then it became av, and the word became bhavati. So the change can occur anywhere. It can occur in the first word also, and it can occur in the second word also. I hope it is clear. So sometimes what can happen that in during the sandhi there can be some letters which can disappear also. We can see an example. Suppose you have a word like saha plus gachati. So when you join it, it will become sa gachati. This visarg, which is ayogvaha, it is getting disappeared. Don't worry about the rules, that how it is happening, how you will get to know. So we are actually going to do all these rules one by one under the different parts of sandhi. Just see that the change is happening here. The main focus should be on that some change is happening. So sometimes it happens that you can actually join new letters which may not be present in your original word. uh, for example, you have vriksh plus chaya. So if you join that, it will become vriksh to chaya. But this letter ch, which was originally not present in our first word or in any of the words, it got added. So this was also a change which happened. So there can be any kind of change. It can happen in the first letter, in the first word, in the second word. It can be, something can disappear, something can get added. So these kind of changes are going to be called as sandhi. Now there comes two words actually. One is a sandhi, and the other word is sanyog. Okay, so in sandhi, when two words are going to join, there a change has to occur. Okay, so if there is no change, that means it is not a sandhi. Understood? In sanyog, you will be joining two words, but no change is going to occur. Let's see an example for sanyog. It is going to be, suppose you are writing dik plus curry. So when you join it, it will become Big curry. So you can see that there has no change occurred in this word when it was in split form or when it was in the joint form. Anywhere there was no change. Okay, so when there is no change, it is called as sanyog. When you are just joining the two words, and when there are changes happening under some specific rule, we call it as sandhi. And there is one more change which may occur, like sometimes the last letter become double. For example, you are having a word chalat plus, sorry, not chalat, it is chalan. Chalan plus agachati. So what may happen that this na, it can get repeated two times in place of a. So, so it will be chalan na gachati. Got it? How these changes are happening? What are the rules that we are going to discuss in the coming parts? But for the time being, just you understand that there is some change which is going to happen, and that change, remember one thing, is going to happen only in the pronunciation and in the writing. The meaning is never going to change. Clear? So let's see the definition of sandhi. So what the definition of sandhi is? Ati samipvarti. Samipvarti means ati samipvarti means very near, very near. Two or more than two word when they meet each other, when they join each other, then किसी नियम के अंतर्गत होने वाले परिवर्तन को संधि कहते हैं. किसी नियम के अंतर्गत मीन्स अंडर एनी स्पेसिफिक रूल. होने वाले परिवर्तन means the change. That change is called as sandhi. I think it is more clear now because as we have discussed already what is sandhi, now it should be super clear. Now there are three types of sandhi. So what are those three types of sandhi? First one is swar sandhi, second one is going to be your visarg sandhi, and third one is going to be your vyanjan sandhi. Let's discuss about them in brief. So what is swar sandhi? We know that sandhi is something when there are changes going to happen. So, swar sandhi is the sandhi when one swar is going to meet another swar. Then the change is happening. Okay, like we took an example of Vidya plus Alyah. So it became Vidyalyah. Correct? So here, A ki matra, that was a swar, A was a swar, and here it was again a swar. Right? So when two swar met and the change happened, we call it as swar sandhi. Here, here in the end of the first word and in the starting of the second word, there should be a swar, and then the change should happen. Then it is called a swar sandhi. Then the second type of sandhi is the visarg sandhi. What is visarg sandhi? Visarg, we know, right? It is a kind of ayogvaha, and the symbol for visarg was two dots. And what was its pronunciation? We had discussed in our previous video, right? So the pronunciation for this visarg is like her letter. So suppose you are writing Ram and then a visarg, so it will be Ramaha. Understood? So the Visarg Sandhi is the Sandhi when Visarg is joining with Swar or with Vyanjan. In the first word at the end there should be a Visarg, but in the second word in starting it can be a Swar or it can be a Vyanjan. Anything out of these two can be. And change is happening in the Visarg. Some change is happening in the Visarg, then we call it as our Swar Sandhi, sorry, Visarg Sandhi. Clear? Let's take an example. Suppose you have the word saha plus uvach. So it becomes sa uvach. So what change has come? That this visarga has disappeared. We will go for the rules later. For the time being, the change has happened because of the visarg and the swar. So what change has happened? The visarg is disappeared. Similarly, if you have vyanjan, suppose you are writing a word ramaha plus gachati. So you can, when you combine it, it will become Ramo Gachati. So what is happening? The Visarg change has come in Visarg and the Visarg is becoming O ki matra. Understood? So when there is a change coming in Visarg Sandhi, then it is Visarg and it becomes something else. Then it is called as Visarg Sandhi. Similarly, Vyanjan Sandhi. So in Vyanjan Sandhi, what happens when a Vyanjan is meeting with another Vyanjan and when a Vyanjan is meeting with another Swar. So similar way as Visarg was there. So in Vyanjan, Vyanjan is meeting with a Vyanjan or Vyanjan is meeting with the Swar. And the change is happening where? The change is happening in the Vyanjan. Then only it is called the Vyanjan Sandhi. Let's see an example. Suppose you are having a word Jagat plus Nath. So Nathaha. So what it becomes? Jagan Jagannathaha. So the change has happened that this has changed to na. Right? Is the Vyanjan and that Vyanjan has changed to na. So the change has happened and the change has happened in the Vyanjan. That's why it is called as Vyanjan Sandhi. Let's take an example of Vyanjan with Swar also. Suppose you have Jagat plus Ishaha. So what it is going to become? It is going to become Jagadishaha. So again, the change has come. This ta has changed to the. Now the change has come in your Vyanjan again. That's why it is called as Vyanjan Sandhi. I hope the different types of Sandhi, Swar Sandhi, Visarg Sandhi, and Vyanjan Sandhi is clear. What are those? We will do in detail all the rules and regulations and all the sub parts of Swar Sandhi, Visarg Sandhi, and Vyanjan Sandhi in the coming videos. For the time being, I just wanted to explain you what is Sandhi, what is Sanyog, what are the different types of changes we can get while doing the Sandhi, and what are the different types of Sandhi. They are three types: Swar Sandhi, Visarg Sandhi, and Vyanjan Sandhi. This topic of Sandhi is going to be very, very, very important for everyone who want to read Sanskrit well. If you can read well, you can actually understand it well. It will help you in clearing your pronunciation of the words in Sanskrit. It will make it easy for you to understand the language. That's why please pay full attention and keep on writing your notes and always refer those notes so that you will never forget what is Sandhi. So that's all for this video. We will come in the next videos with our different types of Sandhi, Swar Sandhi, Visarg Sandhi, and Vyanjan Sandhi. Till that time, write all the notes, remember all the rules, remember all the types of Sandhi, the paribhasha, and everything, whatever is needed, and we will do in more detail. We will explore it more. Swar Sandhi, Visarg Sandhi, and Vyanjan Sandhi. Till that time, keep learning. Thank you.